Oh, dear Lord. Okay.
All right, we're good.
I think so. You gotta do the opening.
Yeah, I don't know. Wait until Coca-Cola 600 stops out there.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Rob and Shane, brought to you by Gimmicks Inc., your one-stop shop for culture that pops. You can find us at Gimmick Inc. You jinxed me.
I did.
Dick, I even got through the fucking
The
thing.
little tagline.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Gimmicks Inc. That's not what the name of the show is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Rob and Shane, brought to you by GimmicksInc.com, your one-stop shop for culture that pops. You can find us there at GimmicksInc.com. You can also find us on your favorite social media network under Gimmicks Inc. So, it's been a little bit.
It has.
It's probably closing in on like, what, a month?
Something like that, yeah.
Man, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's only been like 2 weeks to y'all in internet time, or 3 weeks, or I don't know, whatever. Get off my back.
It's been a while.
So, yeah,
kind of
because
busy though.
It has been busy. You've been working like crazy. Our normal hangout weekend got postponed and just straight up, like, not even postponed, just straight up canceled. For unassociated circumstances. I had a wedding to go to.
You need to tell your friends to schedule their weddings around
our 3-listener podcast.
That's right.
Yeah. You know what? The jerk isn't even one of our listeners, so I ought to.
Oh. That's what she should have given for his wedding price. Just all the downloads on a flash drive.
I drove 7 hours to be there. Gave him the gift of me.
That's the gift that keeps on giving. But we also, what was it? Was it the week before? We actually did the Ghostbuster thing we've been planning to do.
That was absolutely cool. We finally got to go out in our gear, which I've been out in mine before, but you actually got to break yours in.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
Well, you had a grown-up proton pack this year.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting there over time. I started with the Kenner pack last year. We made it to about 80% this year.
Mm-hmm.
Sometime maybe we'll end up with the full scale thing. Which apparently that some people have been shown online that Anvos, like the kit that we had looked at one time, has finally started shipping. And apparently that thing's not bad for a $600 kit.
Really?
Yeah, it doesn't come with the lights or anything. And then they immediately announced a better one that's coming out. But yeah, apparently that thing's not bad. So
that's pretty cool.
You know, I was quite happy with our stuff this year.
Yeah. That's like we take a couple weeks off and what? Hollywood just falls apart, doesn't it?
No crap. GimmicksInc.com GimmicksInc.com has yet to be pointed out in any scandals, but we haven't started airing the podcast with Derek's yet, so we'll wait on that.
That's just nuts, though, because it's like you just see somebody like every 5 minutes. It seems like popping up.
Literally, which some of them kind of make sense. Like, you know, I've heard stories. Oddly enough, I've heard stories about Kevin Spacey before. Harvey Weinstein just looks like a terrible person.
Yeah.
But some of them was like Andrew Kreisberg.
Yeah, that
was not exactly.
That one sucks.
Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And which I'd heard Brett Ratner stuff before.
Right.
But, you know, now you have Gal Gadot saying, I'm not going to be Wonder Woman again if he's still involved in this.
Yeah, I saw something about that.
So, you know, that's interesting.
Seriously.
And by interesting, we mean just absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Like, literally don't, like some of it, and I'm not going to go into this because you're certain to alienate somebody no matter which. stance you take. Sexual assault is bad.
Right.
Like, I just want to get that out of the way.
Yeah.
But, you know, it does seem that, in which in some cases, like Kevin Spacey was point blank, like, hey, I got in front of this. You know, I don't remember it, but I apologize. Louis C.K. was like, yeah, this happened.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, some of it is, it seems like we're getting into a little bit of this, you know, in public opinion, you know, you might be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. You're not innocent until proven guilty in the court of public opinion.
Right.
And we're seeing that with Netflix already pulling out of House of Cards, already dropping like Louis C.K. special. Basically, anything that's happening in Hollywood is just like, nope.
Right.
You know, like, we're back out of this. Like, you know, it's almost like they're just saying, yeah, sure, we're treating it like it happened.
Right.
Which I always wonder if that's the case. Like, are they just getting in front of it, or is this like Netflix being like, no, we kind of know,
Right. Yeah.
so we're going to go ahead and just disassociate ourselves from it now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's weird. Just like, I guess they're trying to. Well, they got to protect themselves too, in case it is something. So
I mean, it's the same thing that you had with like WWE's been doing this for years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Hulk Hogan drops a couple N-bombs,
right?
And suddenly WWE's like, yeah, we don't associate with that guy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's clearly just we're protecting our own best interests. We're getting away from it, but you know, in some cases, like, which I haven't read a lot of this stuff, but look, like with the Louis C.K. stuff, that was like consenting of age adults. You know, it wasn't like, you know, he attacked anybody. It wasn't like he went after a minor like you're hearing some of these other people do. It sounds like, no, he just did some stuff, and you know, now we may not have the whole story. We may not know sides of it, or it may be a thing to where it was done in a way to be like, oh, well, you should let this happen. It could be good for you down the line, or bad for you down the line if it doesn't happen. So there's a lot of angles to get into some of that stuff. And we're not that show.
Right.
You know,
I was just scared. I was like, man, we're not going to have anything to talk about when we come back.
There's going to be
Hollywood is shut down.
There's going to be 2 shows, and one of them's probably going to be something I don't watch. So, yeah, the other one's going to star Michelle
and
Rodriguez.
The other one will be something you want to watch. You just haven't gotten around to.
Yeah. No, that's the stuff that'll get canceled. Yeah, I'm wondering, like, just with stuff like that, I'm wondering what the Flash is going to, you know, stuff we watch, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I guarantee you that dude's not part of the Flash going forward, you know. So.
Yeah. Especially Supergirl.
Yeah, because that was, like, were his, basically everything past Arrow was Andrew Kreisberg.
Yeah, and I think he did start on Arrow.
Like, he was a big part of Arrow, but that's, like that other guy.
Greg Berlanti.
Yeah.
And, Mark
Guggenheim. Yeah.
Well, hopefully somebody will step in and take over because those shows are good.
Yeah.
So, which have you seen the trailer for the new crossover?
I saw like a very quick thing that showed nothing.
Yeah.
Like I know it's World War II planet.
It was what, Crisis
on Earth X.
Yeah. I didn't watch it, but I saw it was out.
Right. All right, so speaking of Hollywood burning down, let's go ahead and jump into some news here. We'll keep this one a little bit more tightly formatted since you apparently thought our last episode was a train wreck.
Dude, that was so hard to edit. It's like we were just off the rails everywhere. Like a couple, one time the microphone just flies off the table. I was like, oh man. But you wouldn't know that unless I told you about
Some
it.
Smooth editing.
It was.
But we still had a little bit of too much kick out of 2 in us.
That's probably what it was.
Because those, like, have you done anything with that episode?
I have, like, when we were doing the Starcade one, I just got, let's see, who went second? Was it Derek went second?
Yes.
I've just gotten to that point where I'm editing his.
Okay.
So.
I was laughing because I've been, like, where I've been sending Kim the raw files. And just because she has like a long drive, and I'm like, hey, you know, like she's like, I need something to listen to, and y'all haven't done a new episode. And I'm like, oh, do I have something for you? And I laughed because that second episode, I've listened to both of them,
Uh,
just driving around, stuff like that. Like, we went to a hockey game a couple of weeks ago, and me and my buddy Andy listened to the second episode. Just straight up listened to it. And she was like, yeah, I got about an hour into it. And I was like, oh, so we haven't started talking about what the show is about yet. Because it's almost like 55 minutes in that second episode before we even bring up what the whole damn show's about.
Oh,
like,
man.
it's ridiculous, but in such a good way. Like, I almost don't want to touch them very much. Like, we're going to have to.
Yeah.
Because there's so much ice clinking and randomly talking about other ones going to the bathroom and stuff like that we have to cut out of the show.
You have Derek trying to carry the conversation from the bathroom.
I think I did that at one point.
Work.
So,
you guys just got to stop drinking so much.
We're not going to do that.
But the cool little movie news, though, we have our tickets for Star Wars.
Nice.
So that happened. Like, I remember, what was it, the night the trailer came out?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, tickets went on sale or whatever. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and get them. If I can get the day off, cool. If not, I'm not working. I was like, I don't care. I'm going over tonight Star Wars. So it was kind of funny because I got on Fandango and they would only let you get 2 tickets at a time.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's the first time I've ever seen that for,
that is weird, yeah.
Because I know, there's a couple other people I wanted to go with, and so I had to send them messages. I was like, hey, you guys got to get your tickets because I can't do them on, one transaction here.
Right.
But everybody's got their tickets and all that stuff.
That's good.
We
got some good stuff like that coming up. So we got that. We got we both got our Justice League tickets for Thursday.
Yeah.
Which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, I finally got excited for.
I kind of have to. Like,
I was kind of on the fence about it, honestly, just because of the actual Justice League.
See, I know you're stuck in the mud on that. I think I've been through so many Justice Leagues at this point. Like the Justice League that you like is not the Justice League that I grew up with.
Right.
So, and this one is very clearly built around the New 52, where Cyborg's a founding member, stuff like that. So here's the thing. I'm excited about a movie that doesn't even have my favorite character in it. So, you know what? Get over it. Get excited.
What do you think about the new Star Wars trailer?
Trying to remember. Because I did actually make myself watch it. Okay, now I remember. I was like,
need to watch it again.
Well, I was trying to figure out if there was one that came out recently or something like that.
There was
but we're talking about like this happened like a month ago.
Yeah. We got some catching up to do.
Yeah, I know, right? I dug it. Like the way I'm wondering how much of it is very clever editing to make it seem like, oh, this is leading the story one particular way. Because it sounds very much like you're going to have a Vader trying to lure Luke in scenario with Kylo Ren trying to lure Rey in to joining him. At least the way that it's edited, and I'm certain that's a part of it.
Yeah, it's.
Mark Hamill was all over the trailer, which makes me happy.
Yeah,
because Luke is my favorite character in all of Star Wars.
He said more in the trailer than he did in the last movie.
Yeah. So, that excites me. I'm kind of hoping that we get a lot of Luke. Like, I really am. Like, to me, I'm hoping that we get a good face-off between Luke and Kylo Ren. Or even Luke and Snow. Because you can see through the trailer that it looks very much like, at one point, Rey is in Snoke's throne room. I'm hoping Luke's there as well. Yeah. In some way. If Luke is just there for like the first 20 minutes of the movie and then pieces out, I'll be a little pissed off.
Yeah.
But I could see that happening.
Don't let him pull a Bryan Cranston in Godzilla.
Oh, absolutely. But I could see that happening.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's Star Wars. I'm going to be super excited about it. Like, I was excited about every movie of the prequel until after I saw them. The difference is these last 2 Star Wars movies, I was excited afterwards as well. So no, I'm super excited. I already know I'm going to end up seeing it like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
through the course of it being in theaters.
What kills me is everybody's online bitching about it, and they're like,
"Well, that's online. Everybody you could have stopped with everybody's online bitching, and we would have understood."
Well, everybody's like, "It's just going to be like Empire Strikes Back." I'm like, "Good."
Yeah, I think we're the only 2 people online that aren't bitching about anything. Unless, like, our set little tick boxes of things that set us off, Jinder Mahal.
He's at the top of the list right now. He just made the list.
Speaking of, you got a hell of a birthday present announcement.
Yeah, I may have to take a vacation day on my birthday again.
Like that, because it was so cool. We just watched, me and my buddy Andy just watched Power Struggle, which was the newest pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Power Struggle is kind of like the Royal Rumble. It's where they announce, like, by the end of that pay-per-view, where all the main matches for, apparently, all the crime is happening.
Batman is outside. Wow.
Sure. Are we under arrest at this point?
I don't know what that was.
But
that was like the white shirt honorary cop dropping by. I don't know what that was.
But Power Struggle is basically all the major announcements are made. And, it gets to Kenny's match. Kenny wrestled Trent Beretta.
Mm.
And it gets to the end of it, and he's like, all right, so this is, the promo he's cutting is like, this is the part where somebody comes down and we announce the matches. And he's like, so come on. And like nobody comes out. And he starts cutting a promo in Japanese. And he's like, is everybody scared? Nobody's gonna come out? And then the video starts. Well, when they announced it, I'd sent my buddy Andy a video, like a link to the video. But he never watched it. So I'm sitting there watching it with him, and I'm like, did you watch the video? And he's like, no. And I'm like, so you have no idea what's about to happen, right? He's like, no. I just sat back. Like, it's almost like when I had seen Star Wars Force Awakens before you, and I watched your reaction. I just sat back. I have never seen anybody in real life mark out as hard. Because it's like, those are his 2 favorite wrestlers. I mean, I'm talking dudes like standing up, like yelling at the screen, like, what? Are you kidding me?
That's pretty cool.
So, since we haven't actually mentioned it, for those of y'all like, I don't know what these idiots are talking about. So Kenny Omega is wrestling Chris Jericho in New Japan Pro Wrestling's major Tokyo Dome show on January 4th. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are aggravated that Kenny's not wrestling Ibushi.
Mm-hmm.
Which is one of the matches that they've kind of pushed.
They can do that anytime.
And plus, New Japan's not going to do much with Ibushi until Ibushi actually signs a deal, which isn't going to happen because Ibushi is rich and doesn't need, like, wrestling is his hobby. He just happens to be one of the best in the world at it. Or that they're like, oh, he should be wrestling Okada. I'm like, he's wrestled Okada 3 times in the last year. It's time to lay off of Kenny Okada for a while.
Yeah.
And plus, like, it's one of those things, Naito is the bigger story. Like, there's no better story going into Wrestle Kingdom than Naito challenging in the main event for the belt. So, but yeah, a little bit of wrestling stuff, like, that's a pretty good.
Jericho just does what he wants now.
I think it's
in his career. So, and he can. Like, who's going to tell him no?
So I'm very interested in what he uses as entrance music, because his video used Judas. Like, there was clips of Judas playing in the. Did you not watch the video?
Yeah, but I forgot it. Like, I'd actually forgot that was the song.
So I have a feeling they'll probably use something like it was. I can't wait. Wrestle Kingdom's so good. Which I sent y'all a message. You need to watch the Marty Scurll Will Ospreay match from Power Struggle. It's so good.
Yeah, most of my messages this week I saw them, but they never registered. I was in a whirlwind, so.
God, that's not even daylight for you.
Yeah. Well, some of it was.
Yeah.
But let's see what other trailers.
We were talking about Star Wars. Other trailers.
I had Black Panther.
Yeah,
That
that's
came
got
out,
a new
like, a
one
week
since we
after.
talked. That movie looks so good.
It does, and it's Marvel's doing that thing where it's like, I don't know jack about this character, but I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, and just like the funny thing is I'm more interested in Michael B. Jordan than I am Black Panther. Like, it's just something about that dude's good actor.
Yeah.
Like, I love him in movies.
Somebody's already taken that clip from the trailer where he's like, I've waited all my life for this. And under it's like, to be in a good Marvel movie. It has him in his Fantastic Four gear. And then
the funny thing is, if you notice, they always let Johnny Storm eventually show up and be somebody else in the real Marvel movies.
Oh.
It's like being Johnny Storm is your training ground for being able to actually get to be in the real Marvel movie.
Speaking of like weird stuff like that, I just thought it was fun. I was watching Guardians Volume 2 the other night. And I like the whole thing where he's like, yeah, David Hasselhoff was who I thought was my dad.
Right.
And he played Nick Fury at one time.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's kind of funny.
That is funny.
Yeah, I was just going through reading stuff the other night, and this is kind of funny, man. Did you know there's like a blast from the past, like from where we grew up, still in existence out there?
Like outside?
No, well, like out in the world.
Okay.
There is a Blockbuster still active in Alaska.
Yeah, I've run across that.
Really?
Because like it's not affiliated with the Blockbuster chain.
Oh, it's not?
No, because like Dish owns that.
Oh, okay.
And like Dish bought Blockbuster and shut it all down while I was working there.
Mm.
The guy was a franchisee and just was able to keep the name.
Keep all the signage and stuff like that.
But it's because like up in rural Alaska, it's like it's so remote up there. Like that's in one of those places that everything has to be flown in.
Mm.
So they actually still do business because going to the movies is just not something you can really do. Or
I think
nice, good internet service.
That's the big thing they were talking about. So that up there they don't have unlimited data.
Yeah.
And if you do,
it's probably because they're on like satellite internet.
Yeah, that's what they said. If you have unlimited data, you're basically a millionaire.
Yeah, I would imagine. Probably with like a dedicated T1 line run to your house or something like that.
That was just so cool seeing it though, because like in the
video, it's still a Blockbuster.
People were walking in. I'm just like, man. And they even, I think in the article I was reading about, they actually mentioned that Hollywood Video was Blockbuster's biggest competitor at one time. And I was like, that's kind of cool because that's what we had.
Oh yeah.
You know, you're there for what, 4 years?
I don't remember a Hollywood.
Didn't we have Hollywood beside Walmart?
Movie Stars.
Movie Stars. I thought it was Hollywood.
No, it was Movie Stars because I actually.
Look at me not knowing where I went to the video store.
Well, see, one of the reasons I know that is because right when I started Dish, like right when they put me on the phones, I was like, I need off these phones and then do a better job. And I actually interviewed for to be a manager of a Movie Stars and tanked it. Like, it's just so bad. Like, had no business. Because the only reason I wanted to be a manager of a movie store is I was like, I like movies. Like I literally had all these grand designs of like things I wanted to do at the movie store. And I'm like, nobody wants this stuff. Like, it's really just going to be like, stock the new releases and shut up.
Is that kind of like starting a podcast just because you like movies?
Yeah, but
I mean,
see,
what kind of assholes would do something like that?
I've got about as many views. We've got about as many listeners as I would have had people in the movie, and it's all our friends. It's actually just Derek with 45 accounts downloading.
Derek's like, I was going to download your podcast, but I heard you guys were a couple fuckholes.
He went and downloaded 2 other guys' podcasts.
Fuck that. Oh my god. Oh, dude, totally random. Like, I had to email myself these pictures because I come across this the other night.
Uh-huh.
And do you remember when we did our Blade Runner episode, we were just talking about a lot of comparisons to Fallout?
Yes.
And you were talking about Nick being pretty similar to Deckard. Look what he's wearing.
Oh, yeah. That was one of the first things that I
never
noticed.
caught on to that. And then, like, there's an Easter egg here. This is on one of the rooftops in the city.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like, you actually see, like, I guess
I'm glad to go
scene.
looking for that.
It's I actually know which building it's on just because I've played that game so much.
Well, see, I have to. Like, I've put like probably 200 hours into that game, close to it.
But I'll have to put this in the show notes. Since,
Yeah.
You know, they can't really see this.
Yeah,
but
it's an audio podcast.
you got the synth basically setting. What was the guy's name?
Roy Batty.
Roy Batty.
That's cool.
Yeah, like I thought that was really neat. Like I just came across it.
I love that world. Like the fact that the fact that you found Cheers.
Yeah.
In Fallout 4. Like I even realized the other day, because I started up New Vegas a little bit, and I actually found the refrigerator with the bones and the hat and the whip in it. I saw one listener. I figured it was.
Yeah, okay.
We had two at one point. I wonder who that other unfortunate soul was.
But
Derek on another phone.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of like, I don't know. I was just looking through stuff the other night and I came across that. So getting notifications everywhere. But also, you'll love this.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the Kingsman steelbooks that are coming out?
Yeah, I saw the one you sent the other day.
Well, they're reissuing the first one to go along with that style.
Oh, yeah?
But you're going to want to get it from Target. Because that's what comes with it.
Ooh!
It's actually a Statesman Whiskey Stones edition. And it comes in an actual box.
Oh, that's damn.
So
Target's kind of killing it with that stuff. Like, you've seen the Stranger Things VHS set, right?
yeah, Tim actually picked that up.
It's only going to be $10 on Black Friday.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which apparently Best Buy has one Black Friday. Like, every major movie I would want to pick up is $6.
Really?
Yeah. So, yeah, the only thing we got to talk about, because you sent me the picture of the Gotham by Gaslight.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that's going to be a Target exclusive again.
Is it?
Or at least it's listed on Blu-ray.com as a Target exclusive again. So I'm hoping they have the wrong information and are just jumping the gun thinking it is, because I hate getting that crap from Target.
Yeah.
Especially now with the idea I could just get it from Best Buy.
Or Amazon.
Or, yeah. So, we'll see. Oh, speaking of which, I don't know how we'll have to do it, but those of you who are listening to this, stay tuned to either later in this episode or some other time when we post this episode for a chance to win a digital copy of Batman and Two-Face, the new DC animated movie.
Oh, yeah. So, since we have that extra one.
Yeah, I've got my extra one. So I've got a digital copy, and depending on how well that does, I actually do have an extra steelbook copy. We'll see. Maybe sometime down the line. Who knows? We'll have to come up with some rules or something like that, but we'll post it around the time this episode posts.
Speaking of DC, I know I sent you guys the trailer the other night about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles being added to Injustice 2. That's just cool.
That was really
Did
cool.
you watch the trailer?
I did.
Like when they actually jump into the air and it's like a throwback to the old opening
animated series. But you got that. You had Raph in the trench coat and hat from the first movie.
They said, like, I can't remember. There's actually a video where they showed off like the crowd reaction to the reveal, and I can't remember which character that they said it was, but it was a female character used as a saw, and it's obviously not Electra because they can't do Electra. But I can't remember who they said this person was, and everybody was that's it, because everybody was like, that kind of just didn't really want that.
Yeah.
And then when the saw threw down, like you can watch the video, everybody was like, "Oh," because it's kind of like
the whole room is expecting it to be Melina.
Yeah, the whole room is just deflated, and then like the camera changes and you see Raph, and it's like everybody has that, "Oh my god, really?" And then like as soon as they all show up, like everybody loses their shit. One guy's jumping around the room, like just hugging people. I was like, that's pretty good.
I've heard that like Ed Boon has been saying that like one of the new characters coming out was going to be a brand new play mechanic that they've never done. And then this comes out and it's like Leo says, we fight as a team. I've heard that it's not going to be you play as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. You play as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I don't know how that's going to work.
I've got the season's pass, so as soon as it's able to download, it will be downloaded.
Yeah, I'm going to check that out. Speaking of, have you, since you've had the day to play with it, speaking of video games, have you got into Battlefront?
No.
Because it's a dumpster fire online.
Well,
I mean, as far as like just reading like all the stuff about everything being online, like the internet hates this game.
Really?
But it's all because of the play mechanic. Like, I don't know if you've been keeping tabs on it, but they're saying, like, it takes 40 hours of grinding to get one hero.
Wow.
Like, I mean, granted, that's going to be your higher echelon, like Luke and Vader, I think, are like the highest tiered money that you have to, or virtual currency or whatever that you got to pay. Mm-hmm. But they're saying that, like, if you calculate it out, it takes about 40 hours of grinding to get one character.
Mm.
And they were saying before you released the, before they lowered the tier, like the cost of the characters,
right?
Because they just sent that thing. You sent it to us that they really lowered the cost,
like
75%. Well, apparently they also lowered the reward 75%. So they didn't do anything. They just made it cost less.
Hmm.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Because everybody was like, "Oh, well, it's down 75%. You only got to do a quarter of the work you used to." No, you still got to do all the work. Mm-hmm. But I think they said before at the original price tier to get all the characters would have cost, if you were one of them that just paid for it, $250.
Jesus Christ!
And even now, I think it still costs another $60 on top of the game. So it's
one of those. I basically just bought that game for the story,
right?
Because I was sold on the trailer.
And one thing also I've heard is it's only like 5 hours long.
Yeah, well, I'll kind of expect that,
really?
Because like the old Battlefront games, they were the same. So
gotcha.
I mean, I just want to play Star Wars. I haven't actually paid full price for a game this year, so I figured I was like, you know what, let's just go ahead and get one.
And plus, I mean, the way that we've got it worked out.
I'm just so excited about Star Wars now. I was gonna get it. So
no, I'm excited about it. Like, I'll probably go home and bust into it tonight because you know me, multiplayer. I can't.
Yeah,
I'm terrible at those games.
Like co-op, online co-op, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we did with Assassin's Creed, me and you and Derek just running around, like actually planning out like how to take people down and stuff like that. That was so fun.
Like stuff like that's so good. Like that.
GTA, we
have a blast. Minecraft, we've had a blast in.
Oh, used to.
Yeah, well, I'm not thinking about it, dude. I haven't even touched Minecraft in almost 2 months. This might be my longest stretch of not playing.
Me and Derek was talking about it the other night, and I was like, you know what? I could probably put the kibosh on this and be good.
I'll be back in it. Like, I can't. I love that game.
Yeah.
And there's so much that I haven't done with that game and stuff like that, but which is weird since I've played it for almost a month and a half, real time, straight. But I don't know. I can be all right with it. All right, so out of video game news, what else we got?
The only thing I had left there that
you got 9 pages of notes
that was
there, and you got. Did you see the Star Wars trailer? Like, really? Is it like The Shining and it just says Star Wars trailer over and over again?
No, that was a write-up that was from
this Star Wars trailer.
Well, this is something you gotta use 9 pages of the book Starcade.
That's true. That being said, you had a lot of Starcade on that, which y'all will eventually get to hear sometime, maybe.
I did a damn good job.
You did.
But no, it was just the here, you can read it if you want.
I read you news. You drive the show.
It's all right. One about the Dark Universe.
It's now been reported that 2 producers in charge of the franchise's creative direction have quit entirely. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Alec Kurtzman and Chris Morgan have left to focus on other projects. Kurtzman is heavily involved with TV, including Star Trek Discovery, while Morgan is writing the Fast and the Furious spinoff, which will star Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham. In a statement, Universal President of Production Peter Kramer said, "We've learned many lessons throughout the creative process." We've learned nobody wants the Dark Universe, is what we've learned. We've tried twice. 3rd time's the charm. And we're viewing these titles as filmmaker-driven vehicles, each with their own distinct vision, so not a universe. We're not rushing to meet a release date, and we'll move forward with these films when we feel that they're the best versions of themselves. Whatever happens, there's no denying that this situation is a mess for Universal. Launch of blah, 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 no Mummy Avenger. All right. First time Dark Universe was in trouble came last month when Bride of Frankenstein director Bill Condon denied that the film was connected to it. He's like, no, it has nothing to do with anything else. Nothing. Zero, he told Collider. Shortly after this, Universal canceled pre-production and trial.
Yeah.
So he's like, this has nothing to do with the other universe. And Universal was like, then you're not going to be able to make it, bitch. Like,
sorry. Yeah, I mean, there's like I said at the end of that episode, not everything needs a shared universe.
It doesn't, and don't get me wrong. There's part of me that wants to see what the Mummy Avengers was going to be. I didn't want to see it in the theater. I wanted to sit back and
kind of like the documentary.
I wanted to see the trailer.
Yeah.
To the Mummy Avengers.
No, it's kind of like the documentary of Kevin Smith's failed
Superman
movie. Like, to see what could have been.
Yeah, well, my whole thing was because if we can go back to that episode and talk about it, but we had no idea what they were setting up. Like, who was going to be the Mummy Iron Man? Tom Cruise? So there's that part of me that's like, I kind of wish that I'd got to see what the Mummy Avengers was going to be. But now it's not going to be anything. And you know what? Oh well.
That's fine.
I don't care.
But last time we went to the theater, at least we saw a good movie.
We did. And that movie was the Emoji Movie.
I don't know where in the hell you were, what theater you were in. I know they're putting in new seats and redoing the theater, but you may have wandered to a different one. There was a dude that looked like you sitting close to him. That's all I know.
But one seat apart.
They finally got Thor right.
They did. They finally made me care about that character.
See, and that's the thing. I know, like, a lot of people, they say that Thor was the weakest character in the MCU, which I think he was. I didn't hate the movies. No. I just didn't care about them. It was more of a responsibility to watch the movie to get to the next one.
You know, I've seen the first Thor, I've only seen twice. Mm-hmm. And that was the time I saw it in theaters and leading into the Avengers. Mm-hmm. And the second Thor, I've not seen since it came out in theaters. So, yeah, those were the two weakest movies.
Yeah, like I said,
Thor 2 is the worst movie in the Marvel universe. It's just not engaging in any way.
No, it's really not. Like, I honestly can't remember anything about that movie other than
I remember a red cloud.
Yeah, that, and it's supposed to be one of the Infinity Stones. I don't remember which one.
I don't either.
And then they wasted Christopher Eccleston.
Yes.
And that's Loki died but didn't die for the 16th time.
You know what? This is the first one that didn't have what's her face in it. So Keira Knightley. So I think that's
who?
Was she not in this one?
Keira Knightley's never been in.
Right. Who's Thor's girlfriend? Natalie Portman. Not Keira Knightley.
Anakin's wife.
Oh God, that right there is the problem. You know what, Padme? You were going down a path I can't follow.
You know why she wasn't in this movie, right?
Because she's terrible.
She lost her will to film.
I've heard terrible things. They said you filmed good movies.
You're the chosen one, Thor.
Oh, Thor is definitely the chosen one after this movie. I had so much fun with this movie.
Well, you went so far as to say it's your new favorite Marvel movie.
It is my favorite Marvel movie. Like, it beat out Guardians 1 and Iron Man handily. Like,
I don't know if I can make that claim yet, but it's up there. Like, it's really fighting for a top spot.
Right.
I'm gonna have to sit down and actually figure it out. Like, I just still like Guardians. Like, I just love that movie, and I think a lot of it does have to do with the cast.
Don't get me wrong. Like Guardians and Iron Man. Like, Guardians is my number 3 in the Marvel movies, and it's a very close race with it and Iron. And it's funny. Like, my top 3 movies are just because they're fun movies. Like, really doesn't even have the humor and stuff like that's a big part of it, but it's like not really. They're just fun.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing with this one. Is just, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's a lot of, because within the last month and a half, I've seen every movie that the new director Taika Waititi has made. So I'm just really like zoned in on that dude's comedy presence right now. He's the best decision Marvel's ever made.
It's almost like they've taken that movie Like, me and Derek was talking about this the other night because he said he finally watched Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, gotcha.
And he said that he just loves it and he can't figure out why. And I was like, well, I like, Iron Man probably is still within it. If it comes down between Iron Man, Guardians, and Thor, like 3 right now, I couldn't tell you which one I like the best. I'd have to really sit down and think about this. But those are my top 3 movies. But I was telling Derek, I was like, Spider-Man Homecoming is really good because I see it as a good companion piece to the Iron Man trilogy.
Yeah.
Because, you bring in Happy, you bring in Pepper, you bring in, Tony basically as being the Bruce Wayne character to a Terry McGinnis. I was like, I just like a lot of stuff about that. So, like, I think this Thor movie is kind of like the companion piece to the Guardians.
In a lot of ways,
because it's kind of like they're bringing it together, and, I mean, let's call it what it was. It was a backdoor Planet Hulk movie.
In a lot of ways, yeah.
So,
but to me, it was just... Guardians has got this really interesting space. Like, I don't know. Guardians has almost been like funny Star Wars in a lot of ways. Thor just went in, like, jumped in, not even both feet, just jumped in cannonball style without a life preserver. And was like, we're going to crank up the space opera stuff. We're going to throw in a bunch of weird fantasy stuff. We're going to basically make this movie look exactly like a Jack Kirby comic. And just weird gimmicks on heads, like, like one of the things that I marked out when I saw the title treatment. Like, the title comes up and it's that weird Kirby design, like in the letters and stuff. And like, that's the best way I can explain it. Is like they went super funny with it, which is the way that this new director, like, this director's so good at getting humor and heart. Like, the best one of his movies that he's done is this movie called Hunt for the Wilder People. And that movie, by the end of it, like, you just absolutely love the characters. But it takes you a while to get there, and they have to grow on you. And it gets you there because of humor and fun situations, but then kind of hits you with a lot of the heart, that stuff. And you get that with this movie. Like, yeah, it opens up, you've got smart-ass Thor, doing all where he's chained upside down, like he keeps rotating around and stuff like that. But then, like, one of the best parts of the movie is when he's just sitting there with Hulk. Like, and they're kind of commenting on, like, what's going on in their world a little bit. It's like, now you kind of get into this moment of, like, no, you understand where Thor's coming from. You understand where Hulk's coming from. It's just, I cannot rave about this movie enough.
I was reading something and they were talking about, what was the character that the director voiced?
Korg.
They were actually saying that he was the big rock monster at the beginning of Thor 2. And since they never named him, they were like, we're just going to change that. We're going to use him in this movie. And I was reading about that. I was reading, apparently they had written the Grandmaster's mannerisms and tone for Jeff Goldblum. Because they were like, hey, you're going to be Jeff Goldblum, but turn it up to like 1,000, which he did.
Which is Jeff Goldblum.
And they said, like, halfway through, like, they had it done as far as writing it, and they were getting ready to go film, and they thought they were going to lose Jeff Goldblum for like another contract or something.
Oh, gotcha.
And like some scheduling conflict or something like that. So the movie almost had a small, crisis on its hands because they said that they were going to have to redo that character, to match whatever actor they got because they didn't want somebody playing
like trying to play Jeff Goldblum.
But they said they were able to get him back at the last minute, so they didn't have to go into the whole rewriting process.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, he's another one just completely steals the movie. Like, there's so many characters. Because the funny thing is, I read with the Korg character, they said he wasn't even really supposed to be much of anything. And from what I'd read on that one, it was apparently just him playing around on set. And Chris Hemsworth being like, why don't you do this in the movie? And so they just worked it in, and he becomes a character, like this sideline character that just gets thrown in as an afterthought joke, steals the movie. Like he's one of the best parts of the movie, and it's awesome every time he shows up.
I was like, what was the other thing with Kevin Smith being the reason that he decided to change up, Thor's image and his tone and stuff like that. I was like, that's pretty neat.
But one of the things that got me is like, because you see, like, it's a very funny movie. Thor is definitely, if you've seen the Team Thor shorts with him, what's happening during Civil War and why he's not a part of Civil War and all this stuff. That's the same Thor we've got. It's almost like just clueless, like silly Thor. But there at the end, when he's having that fight with Cate Blanchett, like, he's just a badass.
Yeah.
And like the movie has some of the best fights in a comic book movie I've seen because it's not afraid to go silly.
Yeah.
Like, and I mean, not funny wise, but just, no, there's so much weird crap happening. And it's just so good. Like, everybody in this movie is good. Like, Carl Urban's character is, a nobody kind of character, but again, there's so many people in this movie that steal the show.
Well, see, also another thing that I was kind of thinking about with Thor is, he's kind of like Superman in that he's kind of hard to write for because he's basically indestructible,
right?
For the most part, and like I've always said, like I pick on Derek a lot because I'm always like, Superman's only interesting when he's playing with other characters.
Gotcha.
They kind of did the same thing with Thor. Putting a team together with Hulk and what was it, Valkyrie?
Yeah.
Loki and him.
Well, I think it's not so much that I think Thor's only interesting with other characters because I don't even think that about Superman. I just think a lot of people have a lot of trouble writing Superman. But with Thor, it's because that Norse mythology is so cool. You have to have other characters with Thor.
Yeah.
Like, Thor's almost not just you can only have Thor. Like, you kind of have to have the package deal. Like,
well, that's what
if you've got Thor, you have to have Loki. You have to have the rest of this pantheon of gods. So it almost like be making a Zeus movie, and he's the only character in it, So I think that's a big thing, but I think this time they really learned how to play with all these other characters properly. They're not just, there's these other characters there and Thor interacts with them sometimes. It's like they made you care why Thor has to interact with them.
And it's like, I think my biggest surprise, because I either had forgotten about or just did not know at all that Doctor Strange was going to be in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I just love that whole scene.
Well, apparently that was one, because we'd mentioned it back when we did our on the old YouTube show with Doctor Strange. Him showing up as in the stinger.
Yeah,
and that was just this scene.
Put the stinger. Yeah, it was like the extended version of the stinger in this movie.
And apparently what that was at the end of filming Doctor Strange, Taika Waititi was like, "Why don't you let me film real quick?" And just knock that scene out.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I just love that Loki. He's like, I've been falling for 30 minutes.
I hate giving stuff away, but hopefully people were far enough into it where people have seen it now. But when Hulk grabs Thor and ragdolls him, and like Loki jumps up and he's like, yes!
Now you know how it feels. It was so great. And I saw something else too about one of the kids from the Make-A-Wish Foundation suggested that
I saw something like that.
He's a friend from work. I was like, that's kind of cool. But God, I just love that movie. It's so fun. Like, I've actually already got the Steelbook pre-ordered.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I was like, I'm not even taking a chance not getting this one because remember Thor 2?
Thor 2 was the first one that was like, that's the reason that I haven't been super, like, I have to have all these and like, because I didn't get Thor. But yeah, this one, I might have to get like the best version of this one. So.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice.
Because this one, I'm shocked I haven't actually went and seen it again. Like, just because like my buddy Josh is real big into Taika Waititi, and he really likes like Thor's his favorite comic book character when he does get into him. And stuff.
Okay.
And I come in, and I was like, dude, we have to go see this. Like, I want to see it again, and you're gonna dig it. Like, because he's the reason I know who the director is.
Mm.
Like, I mean, I'd seen What We Do in Shadows. I saw that because I'm a real big fan of Flight of the Conchords.
Mm.
But the other two, Boy and Hunt for the Wilder People, I hadn't even heard of those. And he showed me those. God, that dude's such a good director. Like,
So, what is the next Marvel movie? Is it?
Black Panther.
Oh, that's before Avengers.
It's February.
So when's Avengers?
May.
Oh, okay. So that's okay. I couldn't remember. Hey, they finally addressed the double Infinity Gauntlet too.
Yeah,
I like that. They did it in such a Marvel way.
Yeah.
I was like, that was pretty nice. It's like I just lost it. It's kind of nice going back and seeing that because there was stuff in that first Thor movie I remembered and like the way it looked and stuff like that. I was like, man, they just got to do something right with this world. And finally did it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. Like, I won't give too much away, but there's a lot. It's like, where does Thor go from here now, though? Because there's a lot of stuff that changes as far as for him on a personal level.
Yeah.
And like the end of that movie, I'm just like, okay, so what's going to happen now?
It's going to be very interesting to see what future possible Thor sequels could hold. Which there's going to be some interesting stuff coming down the pipe. Like, this is the first time that with Marvel, and then we've mentioned it before in other episodes, we don't really know what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
We know that we have, we know the end of Phase 3, which is Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that the new one's going to start with Captain Marvel. We know really nothing that's coming down the pike after that. Like, we know there's going to be a Guardians 3.
Mm-hmm.
Other than sequels. Like, we know Guardians 3. We know Spider-Man 2. But I don't know what new stuff's coming down the road.
Yeah, because, we started getting into stuff like Ant-Man and Doctor Strange.
Oh, Ant-Man and the Wasp. That is coming.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah. But like you said, not sequels, but as far as just introducing the characters.
Because, as far as the last group of new characters they tried to introduce, that fell on its face.
Which, we could have talked about this in the news, but depending on what happens, we may be able to play with some more characters.
Oh, yeah. The whole thing where Fox might sell its movie division to Marvel. Or to Disney. That could be interesting. The thing is, it would be very interesting, though, because we wouldn't see them for a long time.
Yeah. And it's going to be weird, too. Like, I was thinking about that. We have a pretty, 17 movie established.
I think that's what we said.
Not even counting how many shows we've got now.
Yeah.
S.H.I.E.L.D. does run throughout the course of the current MCU.
Yeah, you got S.H.I.E.L.D., then you got 5 Netflix shows, which Daredevil in multiple seasons, Punisher coming Friday.
Yeah. So it's like, we haven't established rules, I guess you would say. How would you, at this point, even begin to bring the X-Men into it?
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't?
No. I want the X-Men back at Marvel so that the X-Men can be done properly.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't even bring them into...
Really?
Because here's the thing. Here's the problem with the X-Men. You've got all these characters in the Marvel Universe that everybody loves. Mm-hmm. And they all have superpowers. Why do they hate the X-Men?
That's a good question.
Like, what's the difference between Spider-Man and Cyclops? To the average person, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Why does the average Marvel Joe Schmo think that, because this kid got bit by a radioactive spider, or this guy's a literal god that is going to possibly make me question my faith and my religion and all this stuff, like, why should I care that this one dude was born with his superpowers?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, what's it do? So I think that, and I'm not even talking about just in the world of, like, in these movies, like, that's the same way in the actual comic books.
Mm.
So I think the X-Men, oddly enough, the X-Men work better
separate
on their own. To where,
I can see that.
That being said, I'd love to see Wolverine and X-Men 4
Yeah.
or Avengers 4 or whatever. That's the only caveat. Bring in Wolverine, let him play with the Avengers one time.
Mm.
Everybody else, I don't like the fact that I just think it's too hard. Now, Fantastic Four,
yeah,
absolutely. Those guys need to be incorporated in, and we need to take on Galactus.
Well,
Avengers 5 needs to be Galactus.
They need to have some, I always say, if they can get the Fantastic Four in the MCU, the best way to do it would be something happens and Tony, it's the one thing Tony can't figure out.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps, trying to get to it, and he just keeps getting pissed at himself. He always has a solution to it, but he never brings it up.
Right.
And he gets mad because he's actually got to go to Reed Richards for help. And he's
pissed. He's no longer the smartest man
he's
in the
pissed
room.
Because he's got to go seek out, one of his buddies from college that maybe he hates, something like that. They just, I just think that would be funny. And just nonchalant. This happened, he's been here the whole time, we just don't like that guy.
Yeah.
And kind of like how and he's so good at that.
You even have a line that's really, I didn't need this guy during New York.
Well,
I didn't need this guy during.
He's so good at brushing over stuff like that because he did it with Spider-Man's origin story. He was just huh.
Yeah.
It's just he's the key to, I think, bringing in characters that they can get back. He just and she kind of did it with what I was talking about with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's those little subtle jokes can kind of.
Yeah, they're just hey, we understand it's a little wink.
Yeah.
But here we go. We're just off and running. Yeah, and to me, that's one of those things where that works because I don't think you need the Fantastic Four's origin again.
Yeah.
Third time is not going to be the charm for the Fantastic Four. We do not need an origin. Just bring them into Marvel. Do exactly what they did with Spider-Man. The best thing about Spider-Man Homecoming is we didn't get an origin.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's not even something that Batman Superman can say. We had to watch the Waynes die again.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch Uncle Ben die. I don't want to watch the Waynes die.
Mm. For Batman Superman, I like the way they did it just because it was over in 2 minutes. Because it was literally during the credits.
It was, but still it did aggravate me that it was there. If you think
about it, though, that could almost been the opening to just the credits on a TV show.
Yeah.
That could be the opening, But I did see a poster that I absolutely loved because Hugh Jackman always said that he would come back and do Wolverine again if he could do Wolverine with the Hulk in some form or fashion. Somebody actually made a poster. It was Doctor Strange opening the portal, and Logan is just standing there looking
oh, gotcha.
The hell? He's in gear, from the Fox movies,
right?
But I was that would kind of be cool, but. Yeah, you said, Wolverine would be fun. Everybody else, you could start getting a little tricky.
The only thing I'm afraid of with Fox possibly selling this, Disney is not going to take the chances Fox has been taking lately.
Did you see the guy with Deadpool? He was yeah, you guys need to hold off on that until after we get done with Deadpool 2. Because apparently he's saying that. He's bank.
No, he will not get a rated R movie. You will not. Deadpool will not be made under Disney.
No.
Neither will X-Force, and you would not get this horror movie version of New Mutants.
Well, I mean,
these are just things that wouldn't happen.
They could kind of I don't know, man. I kind of think that they could still happen because remember when Disney would do other movies under Touchstone and stuff like that. You might have a division like that. Well,
the only way it could happen is if they bring it in and just keep they kept the name and we're no, it's Disney, but we're still calling it Fox Movies and let it run itself as its own.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I just don't see it happening. I think that they're so ingrained with Marvel right now. Your next X-Men, which if my next X-Men movie looked like a Marvel movie, I'd be all right with it. But I don't think if this happens, you will not get. Deadpool's done.
It just crashed me up because
or you're going to get PG-13 Deadpool.
Yeah.
And that's not what anybody wants.
It's we've literally spent years bitching about them not having all their characters, and now there's a possibility we're well, maybe.
You know what? Here's the thing. Everything before Deadpool, give them back. But they're finally starting to take chances, and these chances are paying off. Deadpool, Logan, and what New Mutants looks like it's going to be.
If I was Fox, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? You guys can do anything you want with the characters, except, we're keeping Deadpool and the X-Men to play with this storyline. You can use the same character. Kind of like how they're going to do with this whole Venom.
Well, see, the thing is, though, if this sale happens, that's not going to be how it goes.
Oh, really?
Like, this is just straight. The reason for the sale is Fox is like, we don't want to make movies anymore.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Because it's not just giving the characters back. It's straight up, we don't want to make movies anymore. Mm-hmm. Do you want our movie studio? Like, at the end of this, Fox is going to be politics or news and sports. That's all Fox is going to be. So you wouldn't have Fox being there to say, oh, we want this, because they're not a thing anymore.
I just thought of something really funny or interesting. Gotham. Where would that fall in? Because it's part of Fox.
I mean, it would just be. Well, no, that's not the part that Fox would get. Okay. Or Disney selling their movie studio.
Oh, okay.
They can't sell the channel because you cannot own 2 broadcast channels.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, man, that's getting dangerously close to the whole.
No, that's the thing. Like, it actually, like, antitrust laws prohibit that. You cannot own more than 1 broadcast network. So they can't sell.
I was like, Batman's going to be in Avengers 6.
Might actually make me watch Gotham. It wouldn't.
Can't you watch Stranger Things?
You know what? I don't want to hear this. I've got 3 episodes of Stranger Things left. A show that you just woke up and watched yesterday. So
no, it wasn't yesterday.
It's within the last week.
Maybe.
So, I don't want to hear it.
So, we're going to try to make that the next episode.
Yeah, I'll be
hopefully
done. No, I'll be done Stranger Things by, like, our plan is to get Stranger Things done by Punisher.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to have 2 shows.
I forgot about Punisher. So let's see. We'll have to do Justice League. Batman, we want to do Batman Two-Face. Mm-hmm. And Stranger Things and Punisher. Mm-hmm. So there's our next 4 episodes. Give you guys something to look forward to.
Yeah. And then sometime we're getting to the point where we're just going to randomly mention American Made one time in an episode and just be
wow, totally forgot we saw that.
Yeah. Plus, we still got some other stuff I need to watch. Like, we're getting down to only a month and a half left of the year that I got to start cranking some. See, that thing is I'm still on my brother and my friend's movie timeline. They run into March. So you have until March to watch all the this year's movies.
Oh, okay.
I haven't gotten off of that time frame yet. So I'm like, I've got tons of time. And I'm like, no, I've got like a month and a half to go back and watch a bunch of movies.
Yeah. So
what
are we going to do at the end of the year? Top 10?
Something like that. Which is funny. Like, not to give it a little sneak. I kind of run through mine the other day, like just on the idea of, because it's funny, they've been whittling down how they do their choosing for movies for their awards. And the way they did it was just twofold. Did you enjoy it? Would you watch it again?
Okay.
My would I watch it again list is very small this year.
Really?
Like, there's a bunch of movies I liked. I think about half the movies I watched this year I said I would liked. Maybe a quarter I said I'd watch again. So that's going to be an interesting little situation. And we'll see. I'm actually pretty excited to sit down and go over the list and talk about them and break them down. But
cool.
So, we calling it on this one?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. So, final verdict, as you haven't heard, like, we love this movie. I'm probably going to see it once, maybe twice more before it leaves theaters, and then buy it on Blu-ray the day it comes out.
Oh, yeah.
So, run out to see it. If you're a fan of these movies, even if you haven't liked Thor, like we both said, he's been the weak link of these movies so far. Go watch it. It's so good. So, for this, I've been Shane.
I've been Robbie.
And we'll see you at the movies.